Hello there, it's Deej here on my journey to catch 'em all. Today I'm going to be going through a package I got in the mail today from a good friend. Shout out to my boy Blue. This hobby is way better with friends and it wouldn't be the same without you, buddy. We decided to split a PSA membership. He sends me his cards, I pre-grade them and only send him the 10s. So in return he usually lets me keep a card or two that isn't 10 worthy, and it works for us. We enjoy each other and we talk about all of our plays, and this is just part of the friendship. Anyways, just to give a little background on why he trusts me with pre-grading his cards and my experience. I've been a collector since the beginning, buying base set packs from Toys R Us, pulling only Pokemon breeders. That's all I really remember. Anyways, got back in a couple times around 2006 and then 2012, and then most recently, and I think for good, in 2019. And since then, I've graded thousands and thousands of cards. So there's also a point when I got a hold of a bunch of PSA 10 CP6 hollows in a collection I bought, and I decided I wanted to cross grade to try and get a few 10s since those hollows were all so clean from that set. Try and get some black labels. And I was able to send them in with the caveat of if they don't get a gold 10 or a black label 10, then I can just get them sent back to me without breaking them out of the PSA 10 slab. But the interesting part about that was when they sent back the ones that didn't cross over successfully, they sent me the little piece of paper with the grader's notes. So it would be pointed that way if it was off center that way, and then it would have a front and a back picture, and it would have like defects circled. And every 10 that got sent back to me had 2 defects, whether it was centering off one way or 1 defect. None of them had 3, none of them had 1, they all had 2. So in my eyes, that told me that PSA allows 2 defects on their cards, whether it's off center or 1 tiny little nick. I'm going to consider that a 10 when I'm sending cards. They don't expect a perfect card at PSA, so you shouldn't send them there. In fact, if you do have perfect cards, you might consider sending them to BGS. It's up to you. I probably wouldn't do it, just with the consistency of getting black labels and the time and hassle with BGS. Anyways, I'm not going to go into that in this video. So we got a stack of cards here, and let's just get going. Okay, Blue. This guy. He is a very gregarious man. He is good at talking to people. My GameStop will let me have 1 promo. And there's this one girl in particular that's always there when I'm there. And she revels in me only having 1 promo. I'm not trying to take them all. I want to leave some for people, but when I'm buying 3 ETBs for 150 bucks, you can't give me 2. 1 for me, 1 for my son. Like, I know people use that son excuse, but seriously, you can't give me 1. Even if I've gone back the next day, and they still won't give it to me. All right, you can tell him, get upset about that, but let's check out your Umbreons, Blue. So, let's see. I don't like to take them out of the sleeve. I never want to touch a card with my bare fingers if I don't have to, because you'd be surprised at how much oil's on your fingers and how easily it gets onto these cards. So the first thing I'm looking at is centering. This one looks really well centered. Not seeing any scratches. So I can see a little bit of the way they cut it there. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but a little bit of dust there. Let's get that off. This one I'm definitely going to send. There's really not any whitening. There's one little bit there, but the centering's good. And that looks fine. We're going to put that in the keep pile. So this Umbreon, right off the bat, you can see the top is a little bit thinner than the bottom. And maybe a little bit thicker over here, but it's close enough. PSA allows for 40/60s, so that means this side can have 40%, this side can have 60%, and that's still a 10. But let's see, so I would consider that a defect because it seems pretty thin. And pretty good corners. Down here's a little off. These Umbreons were hard to get. I'm going to keep it in the grade pile because it's only slightly off center. It passes the quick eye test. I like to use the eye test. Like if I was glancing at this, you know, not sitting there inspecting it hard, but it looks like a 10. So this one, let's see. A little thin on top again. Let's check the back. And of course, my one Umbreon was just thrashed, but that's okay. The one I need goes in my binder. I'm not much of a graded collector, but I do have a spot for every card in my binders. These Umbreons are good so far. Okay, I'm seeing some nicks up top there on this one. Almost looks like damage. The centering looks okay. Again, I can see that damage kind of on the back. This corner is cut oddly. There's whitening there. I'm gonna have to hold this one back. This is kind of one of those ones where like maybe later in time, like a 9 is still worth sending, but most of the time, modern cards when they first come out, if you get a 9, you're losing money. You might as well just sell it raw. So this one's pretty thin on top, so if there's any whitening on the back, I'm probably not going to want to send it. There's a mark there. Some whitening up top. Speck on the bottom. It's just cut, like there's little notches. See if I can get it in the glare. Kinda. I'm not sending that one. This one, right off the bat, I can see like shimmering silver on the top. And that's just from the way they cut it, but it is not. I mean, that's part of the quality of the card. It's a little thick on bottom compared to the top. Probably 40/60 though. There's whitening in that corner. And if you look real close here, you can see like print lines almost. Where the printer just kind of scrapes. I've seen it a lot in these new sets. It's like scraping on the top and the bottom. There's whitening down there. With the off-centerness, the scrape, the 2 silvering. I'm not going to send that. Good enough centering, some silvering. Try to get some dust off. Never with the fingertip if you can help it though, because that's where all the oil is. Whitening, whitening. Man, this, I hate to just keep them back for so little defects, but that one's close. I'm going to put that one in a I'll check it later pile. Thin up top, see some silvering, whitening, whitening, no. Scuffs up top, like indentions. Almost looks like damage. This one, a little thick on the right, but definitely 40/60. Whitening, whitening. More than 2. Not going to send it. Then up top, whitening. It's got the print line with the centering. It's just not quite enough. So far you got 3 good ones, which is great. Indentions. I'm seeing those indentions on the back too, but like every modern card has that these days. Like you really can't find a card without it. So PSA is going to have to do something. They're either just going to have to let that stuff go or just not give out 10s, which they won't do. So I see the only option is they have to let some of that go. But it's definitely going to make, there's a nick there, whitening, so that's 2. Centering close enough, let's send that guy. But it's definitely going to make modern PSA 10s hold their value because you open up a bunch of packs, you're not going to get that many 10s because the quality has really gotten that bad. So, Tinkaton, new Pokemon, not super popular. So if there's any chance of it getting a 9, I'm probably not going to send a card like this. Because sending a 9, one of these is guaranteed loss. Even a 10, like you might make a couple, like $5 to $10 extra than you would raw, but the chance of losing money on a 9 is just unacceptable. So need to make sure it's for sure a 10. This one's looking pretty nice. So we're going to keep that. Let's put the keep pile right here so you can keep an eye on it. Mouse hold. Okay. Can somebody tell me how many mouse hold are on this card? Like, I know like a little family is 1 mouse hold. Or is this 2 mouse hold? Is this 1? Is this 3 mouse hold? How many mouse hold is this? Please, please, I really need to know. This one's centered good enough, definitely 40-60. In that category of it has to be a 10 or I'm not going to send it though. Man, it's got those terrible looking edges again. See there, you can see it in that light. See, like right there? That's like on every card. And most of the corners like kind of flip up a little bit. And I know in sports cards, like that's totally unacceptable, but like I said, Pokemon, they're not going to just only give out 9s. This one's not a definite 10, so I'm not going to send it. These are also in that category. Everybody loves a good gold card, but they don't want it in 9. So, centering is good on this one. A little bit of whitening, but not much, and you kind of have to look at it from the top. It's not like true whitening. Oh no. I want to show you, make sure you guys can see it. You can see the print line on the bottom of this guy. Just looks like a scratch. Like it just looks like damage. And this is another one where if it's a definite 10, we'll send it, but if not, we won't. So, putting it in a no. This one's centering is good enough. Whitening, though. Whitening. Nope. Super Rod. Centering. A little thick over here, but definitely in the 10 range. Whitening. No. It's got the bottom scrape. It's terrible. Like, if I got this in a 10, like, I bought it and I saw those scrapes, like, I would be a little disappointed, so... In that sense, I can't send it in good faith, especially not when it's not a popular card that you get a big gain out of. Tinglu, off-center. White. Yeah, no. Tinglu. Centering's good enough. Sorry, I might not be showing these cards in the best way possible, but I think it's more about the method than exactly what you're seeing. If you have questions about specific cards, feel free to contact me on Instagram, whatever. My name's the same everywhere, Catch 'em All Cards, so if you can reach me, I'm more than willing to help. Yeah, this one's got all the terrible cut crap on the top, so nope. Ooh boy. Pidgeot Bros. Pidgey Bros. Just started a new Poke MMO Nuzlocke and doing Soul Silver. And I got a Pidgey on Route 1. Well, it's probably not Route 1, but the first route right outside of first town. Alright, let's start with Pidgey. Centering looks good. Popular Pokemon. Oh, so here's another thing that can be a defect. Let's see if you can get a good view. So you can kind of see it's like a cross section right here, right here. They're called print lines. It's where the printer literally moves over the card and it kind of scrapes them a little bit. I'm not convinced that on the front PSA really cares about print lines that much unless it's horrible. Because I've sent in lots of print lined cards and they've gotten 10s back when I was more inexperienced, just trying to see what would happen. A little bit of whitening. Corners are not great, but I haven't looked at the value on this, and I'm not going to because I know blue already does some of that, but I'm willing to bet that this would sell in a 9 even if it doesn't get a 10. I wanted to show you guys one. So when you get a card that you know you want to grade, you need card savers. There's lots of different sizes. Just look for one that's for trading cards, Pokemon. They'll often put that in the description. Lots of different kinds. You don't have to buy the name brands because PSA is just going to take them and not give them back, so you don't need to buy the nice ones. As long as they can protect your cards while you're waiting, when they're in the mail, now this is the condition it's going to be in forever, essentially, because it's safe now. Alright, Pidgeot. What a nice card. Who hasn't had a Pidgey on their team? In any playthrough, everybody's done it once. Off center. Thick on the left. Maybe within range if there's no other defects. Nah. There's some whitening, and like that just doesn't look like a 10. Like the centering is just a little too off. I'm gonna take it out so you guys can see it without the reflection. Like it's close, but like it's obvious that this side's thinner. And like if you were looking at in a PSA 10 case, it just wouldn't feel right. So this one, the centering is the opposite, but it's not as bad as the other one. So let's see here. But it's pretty perfect on the back. Looking pretty nice, so I think I'm going to send this one. Pidgey Auto. Looks like a Pidgeot. It's obviously a Pidgeot, but I'm just traumatized by it right now because I've been playing the card game, and that ability is so broken. I hate playing against it. I don't want to use it because it's so cheap almost. Literally get to pick any card. Like, what? every turn per Pidgeot? Ay, ay, ay. Okay, thin over here, thick over here. If it's not perfect on the back, I won't even consider it. Whitening. But these are good to sell right now, like while they're competitively viable. Just fire sell these guys. Then if it's not perfect, whitening. So this one's thin over here, but within range. One speck of white. It's just a Pidgeot. I think it's not worth sending. Probably better to just sell a 9. You'd lose money, and people want those for their decks. So. Ooh, what a nice card. You can really see the print lines on this one. Let's see if I can get it to show up nicely. Okay, right there. You can see there's a straight up line. It's like a grid. But dude, this card's so nice looking. I'm not gonna not send a card because of print lines until PSA punishes me for it. It's pretty thick on the bottom here, but it looks fine on the front. Like it passes the eye test. No whitening elsewhere. I think I'm gonna send it. This one could get a 9, but it's worth it, I feel like. Such a nice card. Alright, Mew. Centered good. I know he's got a couple of these in here. A little bit of whitening, but it's a gold Mew. I know a 9 would lose you money, but that one's close enough. Arbok. You might think, why would he send an Arbok? It's like what I was saying, there's just so few 10s in packs when you open them these days. It's tough. You gotta just, if it's a 10, it's probably worth grading because somebody out there wants a complete set. If they're that hard to come by, get it graded. 2 off center though. That one has to be a 10 to send. Oh. I finally just went and bought this card because there's no way I was gonna pull it. I've opened hundreds of how they evolve packs, but this one's centered within 40-60. It's definitely thicker over here, but this card is gonna become iconic. It is so nice with the Gyarados hiding up there. I just noticed that. Oh man, it's got like a whole side of whitening. But it's more like, it's not whitening, it's definitely just from the cut, just like a rough cut. Sometimes you can kind of smooth the cuts if you use your fingerprints as sandpaper on that. But super lightly. Oh man. This is definitely not like a perfect 10, but it is pretty clean otherwise. I think we gotta try and send that one. Alright. Blue has been lucky enough to find Orcana a few times. And if you know anything about it, the rares are often more expensive than a lot of the hollows. I mean, if you can get like I think that's legendary. If you can get a legendary in hollow, then you're all set. But even these, like, I don't know, this probably could be worth 20, 30 bucks, I don't know. And I've never graded a Lorcana card, but I assume it's similar to Pokemon. Centering, maybe a little thicker over here, but definitely 40-60. Let's see if we see any whitening. Man, these cards are pretty nice. Nope, send it. Bell. Let's check. Centering's good. Bat looks good. Send it. Elsa. A little thicker. You can't really see the top bottom on these with the way that the black comes up more, but you can see it on the back. It's good enough. We're gonna send it. This card just looked nice. I bet PSA is just gonna throw tens on most of these ones because they're pretty new and they need to get some stuff out there. Sucks that you have to consider that kind of stuff when you're thinking about grading with PSA. It's not just purely about the card. Like they, I'm sure, have quotas to meet. I think you're on luck on all these Lorcana cards. They just look very clean. Ooh, hollow, super rare. That's gotta be nice. Yep. All right, about 25 minutes in. If you've made it this far, then you like grading card, you like looking at random cards, or you think you're learning something. If you are, please leave a comment and tell me what you're appreciating about this, like what you're learning. If there's something I'm not saying that you'd like to know, or if there's something I'm doing you don't understand, just ask. Very nice slow king. Centering is good. Whitening. Oh, that one's getting sent. Just one bit of whitening. Giacomo. Okay, centering's good. Back looks very nice. Yeah, that kind of reminds me. Paldea and Scarlet and Violet base, their printing was way better than Obsidian Flame and 151 has been. Like, it's just gotten way down. And I don't know if you guys have opened any of the Sword and Shield reprints. That print job is just trash. Like, I am trying not to open any of that Sword and Shield reprint stuff because it's just, you got no chance at a 10. Like, I like opening packs, but I want a chance at something. Whitening down here, whitening there. Yeah, there's more than two, and it's just a Gotharita, so we're not going to send that. Squawkabilly, this is another really good competitive card. Off center, thick on the right. It's got those corners that look like they're bent up. And there's whitening. That's one to sell while it's competitive. A couple brushes. A little thinner over here. Some. That one's worth sending. It's probably in 40-60 range. This one's about the same centering, a little thicker over here, but yeah, a little thicker. Ooh, it's got that nasty print line. Can't do it. All right, Flamigo. So I saw a piece of news that they found a flamingo in a Kansas lake. What the heck? They're starting to migrate, I guess. This one's centered pretty good. Ooh, yucky. Bad whitening. Thick whitening. Not just a speck. Let's illustrate that. It's not just a speck. It's like a line of it. And down here it's the same thing. It's a whole line of it. It's not just a speck. So to me, that's not just one defect. That's just like not a 10. Rookie D, thick on the right. If it's not perfect, we're not sending it. Whitening. not getting sent. Rookie D is not a super popular Pokemon. People want those, what do they call these ones? ARs? IRs. These IRs in 10s, but I'm probably getting mine. Ooh, I love the way these cards look. Lightning. A lot of people don't like the hat. I mean, the hat's weird. I'm sending that one. The hat's weird, but these cards, you can't deny it. They're so nice. It's almost like crystal. Obviously, it's not crystal Pokemon, but like they look so nice with the sparkles behind the full art. I love it. A little thin on the right and a little thick on the top, but it is Tyranitar. Yeah. Probably a 10, isn't it? Larvitar. Eating his little dinner. Coal or something. Dirt. Let's see. Born deep underground, this Pokemon becomes a pupa after eating enough dirt to make a mountain. What the? So he ate a whole mountain, basically. If you can make a mountain, you ate a mountain. It's got the nasty print lines in there. It doesn't capture real good. You can kind of see it in there. Just like a cross checkerboard. Centered good though. I said I wasn't going to let print lines hold me back, so I'm going to send that one. They punish us, I'm sorry Blue, but they'll be getting me too. Print lines, centering, a little thin on the bottom, but good enough. It's got the corner folds. Hate those. Just, to me, that's one of those things where it depends on the grader. Like, if they care about that, whitening, yeah, I'm not going to send this one. Oh, man, the infamous Gita. This card. I feel things about it, and not the waifu kind of things you're thinking of. I think it's so underrated. And there's nothing else in Obsidian Flame besides Charizard's. This card should be worth more than $5. I think it's stunning. It's a waifu. I guess she's too old for the people. I don't know. She seems kind of like a young adult or an adult. Anyways. They're really bad condition now, most of the time. See, you can kind of see it looks almost damaged on top. The centering on this one's alright. It just looks damaged. Like, I wouldn't give it a 10. I bought about 10 of these off TCG Player because they're going for $5. Like, this card will be worth more than $5 in a couple years. Like, it just will be. And not one of them was a 10. They were all like near mint, but it's like damaged fresh out of the pack. This one looks centered nicely. Dang. You got cleaner ones than me. It's got like that one print line scratch on the bottom, but the rest of this card is perfect. Definitely maybe a little thicker on top on the back, but the front looks good. I'm going to send that one. We need to get one Gita and a 10 between the both of us. A little thick on the right. Other than that, looks good. A little bit of whitening there. Whitening on the bottom. This one's not 10. There's like 6 white spots. But not surprised. I know it's not blue because this guy takes care of his cards. Yeah, I think that one's worth sending. If you get 2 10 Gigas, I'm going to be so mad because I've actually targeted that card. Alright, the regular full art Giacomo. Thin on the left, thin on the top. Whitening, print line. Nope. Saguaro. Okay. A little thin on top. The back looks really nice. It's got that scratch. It's like a full-on scratch. And you really can't see it on the camera very well. But it's just a saguaro. It's not worth sending. It's not worth the risk. Dendra. Looks a little thin on top. Whitening. No. Dedenne. I'm not sure if people like this, like Pokemon. I mean, everybody likes something, but every Pokemon has one liker. But it's like a Pikachu copycat, so you'd think all the people that like Dedenne would just prefer Pikachu. This one's pretty clean. It's got the thinner scratch on it. We'll send that one. Tyranitar. That one definitely ate a mountain. That thing is massive. Holy cow. Okay. Super thin on the bottom. Like, does not pass the eye test of being a 10. And some whitening. Maybe in a few years, when these are more, maybe more than a few years, but when a 9 is still worth sending, maybe never, but I'd keep that one around. I'll put it in the wrong pile. This card is amazing, but it's Obsidian Flame, so if you got a 10, you are one lucky dude. It's a little thin on the left and the bottom. I can already see that little terrible cut damage. Whitening down here, up there. It's a nice card. Maybe in a few years, but not right now. Okay, Rhyme. If it's not perfect, it's not getting sent, because who wants this? Somebody. I'm sorry if you do want it. Don't let me deter you. Whitening. Okay. No. Crocolore. Thin, but not much. Definitely within range. That is pretty clean. That's got it. Yeah, Paldea, of course. Alright, got a couple poppies. Thin. I'm not even gonna take this one out. Whitening. That's centering. A little thin on the bottom, but definitely in range. You can see it better in the back. Yeah. Maybe if it was a Miriam or something like that, but it's not. Alright, Poppy, thin. Nah, I wouldn't give that a 10, even if I was a PSA grader. Okay. Dude. I got my one little Charmander promo. Dude, it's just not right. I mean, I'm happy for you, but my God. Somebody call my GameStop girl and tell her. Just be nice. Alright, let's see. It's got, like, damage up there. You can see it in the light. It's just that the way they print cards nowadays. I don't know if we can call it damage. That one's got whitening there. But that's 2. How's this? Centering's good enough. We're gonna send that. Because people would probably buy this card in a 9, because not everybody's gonna get a hold of this raw. It's got that same cut up there. This one's not centered as well, a little thin on the left and bottom. Oh yeah, whitening. No can do. This one, this centered within range, probably. Definitely a little thicker. Whitening. Not a 10. I mean, any one of these cards could get a 10 if you get the right grader, but I'm not playing gambles for the most part. I want for sure stuff. Grading's not cheap. There's lots of silvering on this one. Little thin. It's got the bent up corner, but overall pretty clean. Probably worth sending. Thin on the bottom, first glance. Hey, this one doesn't really have the issues. You're getting sent. Okay. Whitening. So 1. It's a little off center. That's 2 minor defects. So we'll give that one a shot. Let's see. Centering's good. Whitening. Oh, that corner is ugly. Yeah, all these corners are pretty bad. I don't think I can send that one. Ooh, I can already see like a bunch of blue. You must not have looked at this card. Or you're just testing me. It's a full-on scratch. Silvering scratch, and it's like all damaged on the side. Definitely no. Oh, that one's all messed up on the side too. I'm gonna take it out of the sleeve, but yeah. Okay, last Charmander. Then something's going on. I don't know if it's the way they store them. There's damage down there on that side. Alright, looks like we got some 151 cards. Blastoise EX. Good luck on getting 10s on these. Some dust, get that off there. Thick on the bottom and right. Whitening. Yeah, no. Maybe one day. Oh my gosh. I've opened about 200 151 packs. No kidding. I counted my code cards. I pulled 1 SIR. 2 Gold Mews. 1 SIR. Like, somebody explain that, please. Thin on the bottom. So that's 1 defect. Whitening. No, sorry, blue. But that's worth like 50 bucks. I need one for my binder. Alright. Man, this set is so fun to open. I've had terrible luck, but I've had so much fun with my wife and son. So fun. Thick on the top and right. Corners are flipped. No. Machoke, I love this card. I think it's so nice. It's got some of the print lines, but the art hides it super well. You're getting sent. Good, congrats. You might have 110 here. Daisy's Held, print lines, whitening. We'll send that. Okay, got 2 more Mews, so he's pulled 3 Mews. We'll stick on the bottom. Take it out. Whitening, whitening. But not too bad. That could get a 10. Okay. Worth the risk. It's a Mew. Okay. Every gold card is supposed to be a shiny Pokemon, right? Why is Mew pink? Why is it not shiny? Thin, thin. This one doesn't pass the eye test. To me. Nah, it's just too off center. Oh, baby. As you can tell, Bulbasaur is appreciated in this household. It's my wife's favorite Pokemon. And we pulled our first one of these tonight, but we need more. So if these don't get 10, they'll probably keep these. But that looks centered. Within 40-60. Some whitening, but like more of like the dusty kind. Not the damage kind. That's probably worth sending. It's Bulbasaur. Looks 10-ish. Passes the eye test. This one passes the immediate eye test. Has some of the issues. But it's Bulbasaur. That's probably worth the risk. Sending. Alright, so this is what you ended up with. Good stack. A lot got picked out though. And if you think about it, every one of these cards would cost $15 a grade. And if you got a 9, you're probably losing 5 to 10 bucks per, like overselling sealed, or not sealed, but raw. It's a lot of money lost. So this pre-grading process is something that can save you a lot of money. It's not that hard to do. It doesn't take very long. I probably looked through, I don't know how many cards this is, 100 cards, something like that. It took 48 minutes, but I was talking through it. I would do it a lot faster on my own. You can too. Ask me questions if you have any. If you want to see more content like this, whether it's more pre-grades, definitely show some PSA returns, might do some pack openings, other random experience, experiments, and other just random moments along my Pokemon journey. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so we can continue our journey to catch them all together.